Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh. Bahasham Yahushua, Bahasham Rawah Kodas, double honor unto the elder apostles and great millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now, this is the book of Judges, chapter 9, chapter 9, titled Abimelech. Verse 1. And Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal, went to Shechem unto his mother's brethren, and communed with them, and with all the family of the house of his mother's father, saying, wait, let me get something. Right, so I grabbed the map. Now Shechem is here at the border of Ephraim and West Manasseh, just like how you have Judah and Benjamin having Jerusalem on their border. So Upper Jerusalem was Benjamin, and Lower Jerusalem is Judah. South Jerusalem is Judah. And King David used to be in Hebron for like 8 years or something like that. And then for the rest of the 22 years, he was in Jerusalem. Seven years and 6 months. And then he ruled in Jerusalem 33 years. Yeah, sorry. I butchered it, but I still got it for you. In Hebron, he's 2 Samuel 5:5. In Hebron, he reigned over Judah 7 years and 6 months. And in Jerusalem, he reigned 30 and 3 years over all Israel and Judah. So the 12 tribes, he ruled over them for 33 years. Now you might, you have these satanic, stupid people that say, oh, he's a mason. He must have been a mason. The word mason in the Bible means builder. It has nothing to do with Esau's nonsense. Just like how the rainbow in the Bible has nothing to do with schizo people. Like schizo people, they're schizo. But I actually meant Skittles. Them different color people. The ABC booty bandits. Right, Judges chapter 9, verse 2. Speak, I pray you, in the ears of all the men of Shechem, whether it is better for you, either that all the sons of Jerubbaal, his father, because Abimelech, is the son of Jerubbaal, as you can see here. But he was born of one of the women of Shechem. It was a maid, if I'm correct. Anyway, so it says here, which are 70 persons. So that's 60 plus 10 is 70. So Gideon, which his name was changed into Jerubbaal, he had 70 children, plus Abimelech, which was then 71. So what did he say? Sorry. Wait. Right, excuse me on that. Which are the 70 persons reign over you, or that one reign over you. So he was already on a trying to take over type mutiny type tip. Remember also that I am your bone and your flesh. This also shows that this is another great example to show you that when Adam said, she is my bone and my flesh, in the book of Genesis chapter 2 concerning his wife Eve, and Laban said it also. Now oh man, what the hell, man? I was doing fine the whole day. Oh, probably because I'm talking. I wasn't really talking the whole day, so yeah. So I'm gonna just read the one about Laban. Now it says here, Genesis chapter 29, verse 11. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother. So actually he was his nephew, but back in the days we used to call ourselves brothers and stuff like that, because We are. And that he was Rebekah's son. So Rebekah is the sister of Laban. So clearly Laban is his uncle, but he still calls him his brother because they are. We're brothers and sisters. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, which is Rebekah, that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. Jacob told Laban, his uncle. And Laban said to him, surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel, which is his family member. So these were his, basically were his cousins. Yeah? On his father's side. And, wait, let me say it good. On his forefather Abraham's side, because, and also on his mother's side, because, wait, let me get it first before I mess it up, before I forget it, sorry. Because, Genesis chapter 2 verse, oh yeah, and 24 also. Genesis chapter 22, see, already, sorry, verse 20. And it came to pass after these things, that it was told Abraham, saying, behold, Milcah, she had also borne children unto thy brother Nahor. Abraham and Nahor are brothers. And these are the children, and by the way, Milcah is his niece. And Genesis chapter 11, if I'm correct, shows you that. Now it says here, verse 21, Huz, his firstborn, and Buz, his brother, and Kemuel, the father of Aram. This is not the Aram from Genesis chapter 10. And Kadesh, and Hazel, and Pildash, and Jidlah, and Bethuel. Now, it is kind of hinted that these are the, this is the forefather of the Chaldeans. But I don't want to really get into that, because I do have, like, if you go to the, wait, here, if you go here, because, what, how do you spell it, right? If I have a little bit more information on it, I'll get into it. But I do know that those people, those Chaldeans, are Shemites, because they are, that's who Abraham comes from. Because it says we descended from the Chaldeans. So, they're Shemites, right? But anyway, if you click on this word, Kadesh, it says Kashad. What, Kashad? The fourth, and then you have here, but it says right here in the Jacenius lexicon, of a son of Nahor, the brother of Abraham, Genesis 22:22. He is perhaps mentioned in this place, so that the origin of the Chaldeans, right, wait, let me read it again. He is perhaps mentioned in this place, so that the origin of the Chaldeans, Kashadayam, and he is Kashada, but you say Kashad, and here it says Kashadayama, Kashadayam. Because if you kind of read, you know, if you read the Hebrews and stuff like that, sometimes you do see that, you know, when it's plural, it says yam at the end, or for example, let me see. Sorry, when you say brother in the Hebrew, it says ach, and then when you say brothers, it says achyam. But anyway, going on, compare Ada or Ara Kwa Nashad Kashat, sorry. The Chaldeans are mentioned in Genesis 11, so that they could not derive from this son of Nahor. Well, it's a possibility. So they say this, but I don't trust these devils 100% because certain things are mentioned before it happened and then later on it happened, but I'm not gonna get into that. So this is the only reason I'm not really getting into it. But I don't trust these people, but yeah, it does say that we descend from the Chaldeans, and also we know that around that region were the Shemites. You did have Cushites there too, but Abraham is not a Cushite. He doesn't come from Ham. He comes from Shem. Anyway, I'll leave a question mark here for this one. Like, I have actually really, really looked it up. I couldn't 100% find like 100% link. I found like 70%, but I'm gonna keep it at that. So I'm gonna keep it for myself spiritually. I do say it now, but I'll leave it at that. Slack you about that. I don't want to give people like false hope or something like that, or false information. I just said that I looked it up, and according to the scriptures, I cannot back it up. But if I look at the Antiquus of the Jews and the Josephus and stuff like that, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to reference those books. I only want to reference the Bible, and I couldn't find it there. But if I go look other places, I will. I do find it. I find it. I do find it. But I'm gonna leave it that. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna just keep it to the scriptures. Yahweh, and Hazo and Pildash and Jid Lab and Bethuel. Right, Bethuel, right? Remember Bethuel, okay? Okay. So remember the name Bethuel. And Bethuel beget Rebekah. And Bethuel also beget. Now this is Genesis 25 now. And 20. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian of Padan Aram. He's not a Syrian. He's actually Hebrew. But he's called a Syrian because that whole region over there was called Aram. And you can find that out. Let me see. Here. I'll leave this link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. The names of Syria, Assyria, Mesopotamia, Babylon, etc. stem from the Greeks, who were not familiar with the true geography of these lands when the names first started to be used. Later, partially because of continuing ignorance, meaning they willingly wanted to unknow. Ignorance means lack of knowledge, but they willingly wanted it, partially because continued ignorance and partially because of convenience despite having accurate knowledge. So they regarded the true knowledge, the true truth, in order to push their bullshit. They persisted. They was determined to do it. In using them, since it would have required something of an effort to give up the old lies, the old familiar names and divisions of the country, and switch to the new ones, because they love to divide people. That's why they make us call ourselves after different names. I am actually a Guyanese, but I'm Dutch Guyana. And then you have here, map. Here. These are the names of the Guyanese. Guyana. Guyana is British Guyana. Suriname is Dutch Guyana. French Guyana. And this is Portuguese Guyana. And this is Spanish Guyana. Yeah, Spanish Guyana. This is it right here. But I was thinking in my head. So this is Spanish Guyana. So this whole region here are Guyanese. So that's how they basically used to call us back in those days. But then they divided those lands, and then, of course, the people started to so-called mingle. Here you have a very large portion of Esau mixed with natives and Negros, and here you have a very large portion of natives mixed with so-called Negros, and a sprinkle of Esau, conquistadors, I should say, actually. Here also, conquistadors, I should say, actually. Yeah. So, yeah, that's it. Okay, so going on to back over here. And switch to the new ones because they didn't want to take away the lies. But they did it on purpose too. But anyway, let me go on. Even if they were more accurate, not more accurate, just simply even if they were accurate, not more accurate, you know? That doesn't make any sense. It's more accurate. No, it's accurate. It's a difference. The old, true, and single names of these lands is Aram. It is mentioned numerous times in the Bible of the Old Testament. The Greek scholars were also familiar with it, and probably described the people of these lands, these areas as Armenians, though seldom, as they usually continued to use the term Syriac or Syriac, which have been familiar to the Greeks. Whoa. This is why they keep on continuously calling us Black Hebrew Israelites, because they know damn well that we're the so-called Negros, Latinos, and Indianos. They know damn well that we are that, and that we represent that, and that we say that that is what we represent. They ain't down with that. They want to have their version so that they can divide us. There's Black Hebrew Israelites. So when these natives hear us, they be like, oh, we're not a part of that. When these Latinos hear us, oh, we're not a part of that. But a small portion of them will know. They'd be like, hey, wait a minute. They're lying. Yeah, doofus. It's the snake-tongued devils. That's what I'm not calling the ones that woke up doofuses, no. The ones that are being tricked, because it was given unto him to deceive the four corners of the earth. He's a liar. Sorry. He's a damn liar. And the father of it. He's a great liar, these Edomites. They're lying to you all the time. They love lying to you in order to divide you, to keep you here, for example, Psalms 83 verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. How do you do that? Divide them so that they're not one. That's it. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. That's it. That's what they do. And they've been doing that since 3,000 years ago. But not only them, not only us, also the other Shemites. These are Shemites. Well, here are Cushites and Shemites in Babel. Cushites were there, but Shemites were there too. You see, Cush, he left his region from the Hamites, because everybody had their region. Japheth had like Europe, and then Shem had the Middle East, Mesopotamia and stuff like that, which is there in the Middle East. And then Ham had Africa, and yeah. So Japheth also had a little bit of Asia to a certain degree, but he had more Europe. Anyway, so yeah, that's what they did. So let me go on back over here. So Syrian from Padan Aram, which is this one. Here. So you had, here's Padan Aram, here is Haran, and then Jacob, he went from here to Haran, which is Padan Aram. Aram is Syria, and that region is called Aram. That all these lands put together are called Aram. And yeah, because he says it right here. You see what this guy said? The name Syria, Assyria, Mesopotamia, Babylon, etc. stem from the Greeks who and it says here, the old, true, and single name of these lands is Aram. Look, I made a lot of videos about this, but I'm going to just keep it short with this one. So if you go to the book of Numbers, I think it's 23, and also Numbers chapter 27. Let me see something. Numbers 23 and 7. And he took up his parable and said, Balak, the son of Moab, the king of Moab, had brought me, who's the me? Balaam. That's the me, he's talking. He brought me from Aram. Okay, so Balaam comes from Aram, and Balak called him, right? Out of the mountains of the east, saying, come, curse me, Jacob, and come, defy Israel. Okay, so Balaam comes from Aram. He said it himself, right? Genesis chapter 27. Where was it again? 27? Genesis 27. Sorry, wait. I'm sorry. Wait. Numbers 23 and 7. Numbers 13. No. 23 and 7 I just read. And sorry, 23 and 7. 22 and 17. Is that it? Let me see. No. 23 and 7. Okay, 23 and 7 and what was it? Wait. Okay, I got it. Now it says here in Numbers 22 and 5. He sent messengers therefore unto Balaam the son of Beor to Pethor, which is by the river, which is the Mesopotamia, which is the land between rivers, of the land of the children of his people. So that shows you that his people were there, to call him, saying, behold, there is a people come out of Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Basically, come and kill them. So in verse 20, chapter 23, sorry, he says where he was from, which is that same region, right? And so he calls that region Aram, and it is mentioned that it is the region of the rivers. And what does this mean? Mesopotamia means between rivers, which is a Greek word. And I just read to you here that he's telling you that these things stem from the Greeks. All these names, all these words. Right? Okay. What did I just do? Okay. Right, going back to over here then. Deuteronomy chapter 23. Verse 4. Because they met you not with bread and with water in the way when you came forth out of Egypt, and because they hired against thee Balaam the son of Beor of Pethor of Mesopotamia to curse thee. So what did Balaam call his land? He called his own land Aram. And what do these devils tell you? That they're liars. But you have to understand, back in the days, a lot of them did speak the truth, but the Heavenly Father said, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. They are the ones in rulership right now. Because you have to remember, back in the days, these regular Edomites, they would gather pitchfork and torches, finding these illuminated ones. If they found them, they killed them. They burned them at the stake because they know there was witchcraft devils and they wanted to take over the world like Pinky and the Brain, real evilly like, and they didn't want that. That's why you see JFK got his ass smoked, but it was not literally only about that. It was a little bit more going on with that doofus, but still, he gave out the speech and then he said, I have basically unwillingly sold out my people. He said, I sold out the Americans or something like that. Did JFK really say there was a plot to enslave people? Well, shut up. He did say that because I saw it here. What was JFK actually referring to in his 1961 speech? Hey, he was talking about secret societies, man. That's what he was talking about. Speech at Never Grave, mentioned by JFK. Speech. His speech on secret societies. He said that. He was talking about that. I'll leave the link in this. Let me see. That details of his nation's covert preparation to counter the enemy's covert operation have been available to every newspaper reader, friend, and foe alike. All right. Maybe on Twitter. Yes. Oh, sorry. This is Twitter. Robert Kennedy Jr. The very word secret. Yeah, that's his word. That's his. I'll put this link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. Because I remember that he said this. The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. Yeah, I remember what he said. So, repugnant. Yeah, I said repugnant. Anyway. So, you had a lot of Edomites that was fighting them too. Not to say that those were good Edomites, you know. They was fighting because the elite Edomites, they wanted to control them. And they wasn't down with that. But both of them wanted to have slaves. The other one wanted to free the slaves because he was like, no, I don't want you to make money and be on the elite tip like me, because then you're going to have a lot of money like me, and I don't want that. I'm going to block you, and I'm going to make sure that I only have slaves, and you're going to be one of my slaves too, because I'm going to tax you, and I'm going to put social security you and all that type of stuff. I'm going to number you, and then I'm going to be free, and you won't. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? So, they started fighting one another. But anyway, this guy was speaking the truth when he said this, because that's biblical what he just said. I don't even know if he was believing in the Bible. He's an Edomite. I don't think so. Especially when they found out the Lord is a dark-skinned man. Look, some of them actually still believe it. I'm not gonna fantasize like 100% of them don't believe it. But then again, 100% of not 100% of our people were wicked, but 100% of our people did go into slavery. We did serve some sort of punishment from the Lord. So that's the same thing that's going to happen to them. Oh, by the way, wait a minute, not 100%. Some of your brethren that did not go into captivity with you. Yeah, I remember that. The West African Jacob descendants didn't go into captivity under Esau, but a lot of them went into captivity under Moab, Ammon, the Arabs, under Hamites, under other Hamites, or they were free, but they fought wars, died in a lot of fights and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm gonna leave that part. I just wanted to keep it short to show you that this thing, what he is saying, is biblical, and that's the truth. That's the truth. They have snake tongues, but still, sometimes in the midst of those snake tongues, you get a tongue twister. And that actually speaks the truth, because both sides, they braid it onto one, and then therefore he speaks the truth when he says this. But he is telling you that they're liars. The Greeks are liars. He's telling you that. He's telling you that. Anyway, also in that movie, what's it, 12 years or Django, you had the German Edomite. He was like, what are you doing to them? To them slaves. What are you doing to them? And guess what he is? It says it right here. So let that sink a little bit in. Anyway, going on. Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan Aram. Like I said, Bethuel it comes from Eber. As you can see here, because Abraham comes from Eber, and Nahor and Abraham are two brothers of the same father. So what would that make Nahor? Then he would be an Eber also, right? But he was just not called that. 1 Chronicles chapter 1, verse 24. Shem, Arphaxad. And the Arphaxads are Shemites that used to be in Mesopotamia too. Yeah? Eber. So everybody that comes from Eber now is in Hebrew, is in Ibar, right? You can read Genesis chapter 10. It goes more into details. But this is just specifically the bloodline of Shem unto Israel. You know, you have Ishmael in the midst because he's also a Eber. He's also a Hebrew. So if you can acknowledge that Ishmael is a Hebrew and Esau is also a Hebrew, then why can't you acknowledge that Nahor is also a Hebrew? And by the way, this is Nahor, the father of Terah. And then Terah also had a son, and he called his son Nahor also, just like Terah, his father, was called Nahor. And Terah had Abraham. Like I said, there's more detail, for example, here, Genesis 11. But this one goes straight to the chosen bloodline, I should say. Genesis 11 and 24. And Nahor lived 9 and 20 years and begot Terah. And Nahor lived after he begot Terah 119 years and begat sons and daughters, which are not mentioned, the daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran died. But he had children, and those children they took those children and married into them. Right. And then, so he and his grandfather, Nahor, his grandfather was also named Nahor, which is Terah, his father. Right. So, Peleg, Reu, Serug, Nahor, Terah, Abram, the same as Abraham, the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Ishmael. And then we jump to 34. And Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac begat Esau and Israel, which is Jacob. So the point is that Nahor is also a Eber. So they cannot be from the bloodline of, here, Genesis 10, verse 22. The children of Shem, Elam, and Ashur, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. Abraham is not from here, so that region is called Aram. Abraham is from this one, and then this one, then this one, and then Peleg. Huh? Where's the other one? Anyway, it goes further. Which, did I click it away again? Sorry. Oh, damn. I think it's in the next chapter then. Maybe chapter 11 or something. But anyway, after Peleg come Reu, then Serug. Oh yeah, it is chapter 11. Yeah, here. Genesis. Hey, y'all. Sorry, I didn't want to go too much in this, so sorry about this. But I hope it helps. Anyway, Genesis 11 now. Then it goes further again. Frax, Salah, Eber, Peleg, Reu, Serug, Nahor, Terah, Abram. And then Isaac, and then Jacob. That's the chosen bloodline as it is given here. Abraham, Isaac, and then Israel. That's the chosen bloodline. And the rest don't count. You don't count. You're just the extra in the movie of the Lord. The daughters were not named of Eber because it doesn't matter. You're going to be pregnant from another man anyway. But yeah. So Genesis 25 and the rest of 20. Bethuel the Syrian of Padan Aram, the sister to Laban the Syrian. So basically, Genesis 29, when it says 14, and Laban said unto him, surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month. Brothers, okay? So they're family members. So if you go to Genesis chapter 2 with Eve, Genesis chapter 2 verse 23, and Adam said, this is now my bone, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. That's because Eve was a family member. And, Corinthians 11. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Why? Because the man has boys and girls in his nutsacks. Trillions of them. And a woman has nothing. If a woman was to live from 0 to 100 years old and then die, she would be empty 100 years long. Every time she would get her period, whatever, it's an empty shell or an egg. But a boy that turns to a man, of course, and that lives from 0 to 100 years, and he never had sex, he never had a woman, he would have died with trillions of children within his whole cycle of life, because the Heavenly Father created him such. It's just like how the Heavenly Father created a tree. Genesis 1:11, and the power said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. Whose seed is in itself. So, circumspect of a apple seed. Circumspect of an apple seed. I hope I'm not gonna get some stupid stuff, because I wanted to say last time I did get some kind of nudity shit, because I put the word circumcision. I didn't put circumspect. Anyway, so this is literally how you are as a child, but of course this is a plant, so it grows much faster and it has seed much quicker. But in the beginning there is no seed. There's like an empty thing where it's a shell, right? And then later on that seed grows within itself, and then later on that seed become dark, and then you can take it and plant it. Most of the time when the seed is green, you can try, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, even though sometimes it's brown, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Then it starts to spew children, trees, plants here like this, and then you can begin the cycle all over again. So just like how the seed grows within itself, man is created by the Heavenly Father in order to grow seed within himself. Neither was the woman created for the man, but the man. Sorry. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. Right. So, you come from a man, whether you believe it or not. The man has boys and girls in his nutsacks. That's where you come from. Right. So, that is the thing concerning Adam and Eve. Lord willing, I'm going to get into the book of Genesis another time. I haven't really prepared it yet. So I'll leave that. I don't want to go up in it fresh. Normally I just go up in things fresh and then I make up things as I go. Well, I'm not making stuff up. I mean, I just read and then something comes in my head and then I document it right then and there by opening a tab and then I talk about it and stuff like that. So I don't really prepare it. Sometimes I really do. I do, but there's always something new popping up. So that's good. That's good, Lord willing. Always like a river, right? Flowing, belly flowing with rivers of living water. Right, right. So yeah. Okay, so that's that part. Bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. Because we're a family. But that's what that's what Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal, said unto the family of his mother's side. Because he was trying to gain their trust and their backup. So, Judges chapter 9 verse 3, and his mother's brethren spake of him in the ears of all the men of Shechem all these words, and their hearts inclined to follow Abimelech. For they said, he is our brother, he is our bone and our flesh. And they gave him 70 pieces of silver out of the house of Baal Berith. Wherewith Abimelech hired vain and light persons, basically a bunch of money hungry nothings, a gang of goons that will just come with you for some money. You got some money, I'll do the hit. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'll beat him up, I'll break his legs and stuff like that, which followed him. And he went unto his father's house at Ophrah. That, and his father is Jerubbaal, the one everybody was glorifying, because he delivered them from the Midianites. Because we went to war with the Midianites, and Gibeon saved us. You know, the Midianites are associated with the Ishmaelites. They are not Ishmaelites, but they are associated with them, just like how the Jews were associated with Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Because, for example, of a fact, I am a Jew, Todd. And in Genesis 21:39, but Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, a citizen of no mean city. And I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people. So he said here, verily I am a Jew from Tarsus. So he called himself a Jew, right? But then Romans 11:1, which is written by Paul again, I say then, had the Heavenly Father cast away his people? Yahweh forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. So what is he? He's a Benjamite. But these other nations don't care, because he was talking to these heathen. They don't care. To them, you're just a bunch of Africans. Whether you from, let's say you have a brother from South America, you know, and then you have a brother from West Africa, then you have a brother from Europe, you know, and then you have a brother from North America, all slave descendants, right? Well, except for the West Africans, but they're all Israelites. But they have different tribes, right? And then another brother from Dominican Republic and Haiti, all bunched together. You think that they're going to look at us and actually recognize where you're from? The ones that are hanging around us, they might know. Because I know some of these heathen nations, they know exactly what I am. If they see me standing next to a brother from Curacao, they know exactly that, oh, you from Curacao and you from Suriname. I know that because I see your skull structure is different, and the way that you talk, your accent. If they hear my accent, I speak Dutch, but if they hear a person from Curacao, the Antilles, the Dutch Antilles and stuff like that, if they hear them talk, they know exactly that he's not me and I'm not him. We speak the same language, but I have an accent and they do too. So they know. But the other people that are not around us, they're a bunch of fucking Africans. Well, this is the same thing that the Greeks were doing, the same thing that the Romans were doing. They were just calling us Jews. Oh, a bunch of Jews. Even Asher, they would just call them Jews. You know, we know who we are from each other. And sometimes I get it mistaken too, unless they open their mouth. If they open their mouth, then I can tell, oh, this guy. I thought you was one of me. Yeah, man, some of these motherfuckers look like they're from us, like they're from where I'm from. And some of them from us look like where they're from. And I always make jokes and I'd be like, man, you got off the wrong boat, man. You should have took a left, you know, or a right. It don't matter. You know, just that's your inside joke between me and them Curacao brothers. You know, if I meet them, if I don't know them, and I think of, I start talking my language to them, for example, and they'd be like, oh no, me no comprendo, no. Oh, I thought you was oh, and then I start laughing, and then he started laughing, and be like, yeah, people often do that to me. They think I'm from you. So that's funny to me. And then they open their mouth, then I know the difference. Sometimes I just see it. I just look at them and be like, oh, okay, because their facial structure is different, right? So yeah, he's not lying. The scriptures are not lying when he says I'm a Jew, and then later on he says I'm a Benjamin. No. That's the same thing with the Ishmaelites and Midianites, right? So Judges 9:5. And he went unto his father's house in Ophrah, and slew his brethren, the sons of Jerubbaal, being 70 persons. So he killed 70 upon one stone. That's why the Edomites love to say, oh, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Right. Notwithstanding, yet Jotham, the youngest son of Jerubbaal, was left, for he hid himself. So now I'm kind of confused. You know why? Because it says that Jerubbaal had 70 sons, and here it says that he killed all 70. But I know that he is then 71, and then therefore Jotham would then be 72, right? But it says that he had 70 sons. So I'm not 100% sure what is that. It's not a big deal. Like, you know, it's not a big deal. Might have been the translation miss something. I'm not sure. But anyway. So basically, it says here 70 die. And he was one. So that's 71. Abimelech was one. Well, it's 71 children he had. And then Jotham would then therefore be 72. But does it mean that the Jotham came out of the 70 and then therefore he only murdered 69? Okay, I'm going to read on. And all the men of Shechem gathered together, and all the house of Milo, and went and made Abimelech king by the plain of the pillar that was in Shechem. This is crazy. You murdered 70 of your brothers, one of your brother, just for a position. That's crazy. That's just crazy. And all the good that Gideon did for these people. This is just madness. This is madness, man. Anyway, verse 7. And when they told it to Jotham, he went and stood in the top of Mount Gerizim, and lifted up his voice, and cried, and said unto them, Hearken unto me, ye men of Shechem, that Yahweh may hearken unto you. The trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them. And they said unto the olive tree, Reign thou over us. Now this is symbolic for what happened here. Judges chapter 8, verse 22. Then the men of Israel said unto Gideon, Rule thou over us, both thou and thy son, and thy son's son also. For thou hast delivered us from the hand of Midian. So he saved them, right? And Gideon said unto them, I will not rule over you, neither shall my son rule over you. Yahweh shall rule over you. And Gideon said unto them, I would desire a request of you, that ye would give me every man the earrings of his prey. For they had golden earrings, because they were Ishmaelites. But anyway, so he made a garment out of that thing. He made a garment, and he made an ephod out of it. Verse 27. And Gideon made an ephod thereof. An ephod is a priestly garment thing. Were very beautiful, adorned with gemstones and gold and silver and stuff like that. It was more beautiful than this. Even a software named AI could make more beautiful clothing than this crapaloni right over here. It's not crapaloni, but you know, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. These are holy things, but these are Edomites, their version of making these things. That's what I think. That's crapaloni. Not those things. Anyway, let me leave it at that. Right. So he made an ephod out of the things that he took from the dead bodies and melted it, because they were our enemies. So we took his shit, bastards. But Zipporah, I mean, Moses had children with the Midianites, and one of the Midianites' family, we were friends with them, and one of these Midianites, their family were the Kenites, and those Kenites actually got a blessing from the Most High Yahweh. Here, Jeremiah 35, and here, 19. The blessing that they got from the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahawashi. And these are the Rechabites. And the Rechabites are mentioned here. Oh, I should have misspelled. Yeah, no, I misspelled here. The Rechabites are mentioned here. The Kenites. These are the Kenites that came from Hamath, which is a man. There's also a place named Hamath, but this one is, in this case, is a man. And Hamath, the father of the house of Rechab, right? The Rechabites. And if you go here, Exodus 18, and also Numbers what? Numbers what? 20, 29 or something? 29 and 10? Or 10:29, I think. Yeah, I think it was 10:29. If I'm correct, I'm not sure. Yeah, it was. Here. So, right. So, here you had the priest of Midian, which that priest was a Midianite. And so here you have the name Hobab. And then if you go here, Judges 4:11. Okay? Judges 4. Judges, yeah. Oh, shit. Judges 4:11. Then you will see now Heber the Kenite, which was of the children of Hobab, the brother-in-law of Moses. This is supposed to be brother-in-law because in the Hebrew, the word brother and father, brother-in-law and father-in-law kind of looks alike. So they made a mistake. Because if you, like I said, if you read the scriptures, you will see that Hobab is actually the son, because it says it right here. Where is it again? It says it right here. No, sorry. Here, Hobab, the son of Raguel, the Midianite. So he is his brother-in-law. Yeah, so he is his brother-in-law. But anyway, now Heber the Kenite, which was of the children of Hobab, the brother-in-law of Moses. And the father-in-law of Moses was a Midianite, and therefore his son is a Midianite. And therefore his son's, Heber, is a Midianite. So we were cool with the Midianites because he had severed himself from the Kenites. He severed himself from the Kenites. And then they became friendly with us. Even King David gave them, he had friendly relations with them. He gave them gifts. Right. If you read this chapter, you will see that King David gave them gifts. But he told the Hamite in verse 27, chapter 27, that he had killed them. He didn't kill them. He killed the Canaanites. These were Canaanites. But these two names are actually, funnily enough, also names of Syrians, Aramites. Funny enough, right? But that's not. But with Achish, which is the king, the Canaanite king, the king of Gath, and Ziklag he gave King David, which is a place. Wherefore Ziklag pertaineth unto the kings of Judah unto this day, because Achish gave us. Verse 10. And Achish said, "Whither have you made a road today? Where'd you go today?" And David said, "Against the south of Judah." King David lied. He said, "I went to go kill the Judites." And against the south of the Jerahmeelites. He said he killed the other Jerahmeelites, which are also Israelites. And against the south of the Kenites, and which are the Midianites. So he said he killed them too. But he didn't. Because he went and gave them gifts. Because Jerahmeelites, he gave them gifts. The Kenites, he gave them gifts. And also south of Judah, south of Ramoth. It's somewhere here. He gave them gifts also. Yeah. But he killed the Amalekites. And let me see, the Philistines out of the land of Judah. Okay, cool. Right. Anyway, so Gibeon made, let me see, Judges chapter 8, verse 27. And Gideon made an ephod thereof, of the gold of the Ishmaelites, well, the Midianites, their things, and put it in his city, even in Ophrah, yeah. And all Israel went a whoring after it, which thing became a snare unto Gideon and to his house. So they was jealous of him, because he had a beautiful ephod. This shows you that all these celebrities, right, that you see here, a lot of their fans, often you hear it was the fans that actually started fights with them. Because they like you, but they're jealous of you. Some people can't control their jealousy, you know? Sometimes they want to take a picture and then they want to rob you at the same time. It's just madness, man. These people don't know what the hell is really going down. You know, Gideon had 70 sons because he had many wives. And his concubine that was in Shechem, she also bare him a son whose name was called Abimelech, which is who I'm reading about right now, which is a demon, a very satanic, egoistical, selfish feces. So, Judges 9 and 8. The trees went forth on the, and by the way, this is just like how the trees in the Garden of Eden were. And I can read about it right here. Ezekiel chapter 31, verse. I'll start at 1 and then I'll end at 9. So it says here, and it came, and then I'll stop this video and then I make another part. And it came to pass in the 11th year, in the 3rd month, in the 1st day of the month, that the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, came unto Ezekiel, son of man, speak unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and to his multitude, whom art thou like in thy greatness? So Ezekiel was told by the Heavenly Father, go talk to this guy, Pharaoh, for me, and to his multitude, and ask him, who do you think you are in all your greatness? Who do you compare yourself to? Behold, the Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon, with fair branches, and with a shadowing shroud, and of a high stature, and his top was among the thick boughs. So they were a great nation, right? Beautiful branches, was great. That's the point of this, right? Because the people are symbolically called a tree. It's like you should know a tree by its fruits, or you should know a false prophet, right? You should know his fruits by the tree. You should know a tree by his fruits. If his students are evil, then he's evil. If his students are good, then he's good, because they learn from their teacher. Now you do have certain instances where you have an evil fruit that went underneath a good tree and trained there as his student. But as time goes on, the good teacher will find out that this guy's evil and not teach him anymore. You had that often in the kung fu movies of the 80s and 70s. You had this guy that wanted to teach kung fu to kill people and rob and beat up people and stuff like that. But he didn't show that in the beginning. Then he taught him, and then, he grows up, and then the teacher banishes him, and then he cusses him out. I will be greater than you. I will come back and beat you up, all of you. And then his mouth keep on talking. And then you had the same type of, and then you have the same teacher, but then a younger guy comes because he getting beat up and stuff like that. And then he comes, teach me. And he doesn't want to teach him because he's like, I don't know, maybe he's going to turn evil too. And then later on, he teaches him. And then while he's actually training underneath him, you know what I'm saying? And then the evil student comes back and kills the master. Now he swears revenge for the master. Yeah, stuff like that. That's often movies. I actually watch movies like that. I'm like, I actually like that concept, but, it's just dope. I saw a lot of movies like that. Different movies like that, just like how or at least a lot of Jake movies are all about robbing banks or just robbing, getting money, getting bitches, selling dope, growing up poor and then making it big, and then fumbling with drugs and alcohol and all that type of shit. Always those same type of movies. But with Esau, he goes to other planets. He's conqueror. He's Superman and Supergirl and all that type of shit, But anyway, so it says here, verse 4, the waters made him great, The deep set him up on high, with her rivers running round about his plants. He sent his little rivers unto all the trees of the field. Well, you can get this scripture for that, for an example of what that means. Psalms 1:1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. He shall be, here it comes, he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. Right, because you're gonna have a lot, as a tree, you're gonna have a lot of water. Let's say 3 months out of the year only, that tree gives fruit. Always on time, that tree is gonna have fruit. Always on time. Let's say it only blooms in the summer. In the winter, in the spring, there's a lot of rain and stuff like that, so it catches all the water. And by the summertime, you know what I'm saying, then it starts blooming for like 3 months straight up. For example, I'm just giving an example, right? And then in the autumn, the leaves fall, all that there. And then in the winter, it's like a dead tree. And then in the spring, it starts coming back to life again, rejuvenate with the water of the springtime. And then in the summer, it blooms right back again. You know what I'm saying? So, in due time. Well, that's how you're going to be once you win Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Always in good season, you're always going to have something to say in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's what's up. That's what's up. He's always going to water you right then and there. Okay, now attack. Bam! And then you cut them. You know what I'm saying? Right. His leaf also shall not wither. Well, in this case, not like a real tree, because their leaves does wither. Unless you a pine tree, then you will never wither. Your leaves will never wither. But then again, they don't have leaves. They have like, I don't know, points or something like that. Pine trees. Some of them have trees. Some of them do have leaves, but their leaves is like different than a normal leaf. They're like weird. Because they can keep the water in there and not freeze over and break like glass. Because if you think about it, if leaves were to be here, they would get hard and break like glass. And then the water that would be up in there would just, have you ever grabbed a leaf and then did this with it, and then you will see the juices, the green juices just come out of it? Yeah, that's the water. And think about it, if you freeze that, it would be frozen, and then it would break like glass. Pling-a-ling-a-ling, it would. So the Heavenly Father's like, nah, I'm gonna make you retain your water in your roots and in the branches and stuff like that. That's why you have juices in the branches if you break it up. Not a lot, but there's juices in there, but that can't be frozen because the tree is too thick. But anyway, his leaves also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. That's what I mean with anytime, any day. They can't confine you with the scriptures, because you're going to pull out your sword and just chop them up in pieces. They might get angry and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's how they were. But they wasn't like with scriptural, the Assyrians. They was actually very beautiful in the way that they was doing things until evil was found in them, and then the Most High judged them. Right. And they was never great again. Just like the Egyptians, Mizraim, which are Mizraim, Pharaoh of Mizraim, which is a Hamite. Verse 4, the waters made him great, the deep set him up on high, with the rivers running round about his plants, because he was very prosperous, and sent her little rivers unto all the trees of the field, which are the other little villages that were sister villages of them. Therefore his height was exalted above all the trees of the field, because all the trees were, he was greater. The Assyrians were greater than all the people round about them. And his boughs were multiplied. Just like how you have here when it says that here, Joseph bows. Joseph his bows. Genesis, this is a prophecy of Joseph. Genesis 49 and 22. Joseph is a fruitful bow, even a fruitful bow by a well, whose branches run over the wall. Well, what's it talking about? If you look up the word bow, you will see that it's talking about his children, his sons. He's a fruitful son, even a fruitful son, by the well, by a well. And what is a well? A well is full of water. So if you are a tree, then it's beautiful for you to live near a well so that you can be watered well. Funny. So that you can be watered well, watered good, you know. And his branches, what was that again? I think it's one of these two. Yeah. His branches are his like daughters, are his cities, the villages. It's talking about the villages, because you always have sister villages. Now, if you look up the word branches in other scriptures, I can't remember which one I'm talking about right now. I did a video about that, but it shows you that those villages are called daughters. Wait. Okay. Joshua chapter 13, verse 28. What did I just say? Yeah, Joshua 13. Joshua 13:28. Now it says here, right? This is the inheritance of the children of Gad, after their families, the cities and their villages. Okay, so what is the villages? Hebrew 26:91. No, actually it's this one then. Where is it? Cities. Here, cities. Let me see. Hebrew 58:92. Towns. Okay, it's not this one then. Wait, town, villages. Here. I think it was in Joshua. It was in Joshua, yeah. And their villages, towns. Check this out. Joshua 6:15 and 36. And Sharaim and Adithaim and Geda and Gederathaim, 14 cities with their villages. One of these two is named daughters, symbolically called daughters. Wait, Hebrew 5:892. Wait, town. Maybe it's town. Wait, let me see something here. Margin town. Okay, town. Cities. Huh? Wait. Yeah, I think I got it right here, but yeah, it's not what I'm looking for, but it's good too. Ezekiel 26:8. He shall slay with the sword thy daughters in the field. I'm going to the word here, daughters. It's talking about daughters in the field, but here it says here daughters in the field. So when you click on 13:23, which is bath, which is actually daughters, but one of the definitions of it is actually daughter villages. Now it says here daughter villages, and it shows you here that a daughter used in the same wide sense as other terms of relationship, literally and figuratively. Apple of the eye, branch, company, daughter, first, old, town, village. You have daughter villages and stuff like that. You have daughter villages, whatever. And then you have son villages, you know. But it says here, Joseph is a fruitful son, even a fruitful son by a well. So he's a fruitful son On top of that, he's a fruitful son near a well. So, for example, Joseph was like this. Hosea 13:1. When Ephraim spake trembling, when he had the fear of the Lord, he exalted himself, because the Most High will exalt you. How do you do that? By being humble and speaking, being fearful of the Lord. That's how you make yourself great, because you're not actually making yourself great, but how can I say it? It's like study to show thyself approved, and also give diligence to call and make thy election sure, and also basically save yourself. How do you save yourself? By following after Yahweh Basham Yahushai. That's how you are on the path of saving yourself. You're not going to actually save yourself. The Lord's going to save you. But if you walk this way, you're helping yourself. That's what I mean, right? So he was helping himself, right? But when he offended in Baal, he died. When he started to go toward Baal, he started to die. Right. So, but he was in a well-favored well, which is near water, by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? So, Joseph is a fruitful son, even a fruitful son by a well. He's in a very secure, beautiful place surrounded by water, which is always prosperity. Because with water, you can have fruit and you can have vegetables, which means food. And with food, you can strengthen your mind. Have you ever not have food and see how weak you are? Well, once you had food, you can strengthen yourself. Whose branches run over the wall, and the branches of Ephraim were, so Hebrew 13:23. Hebrew 13:23. It's talking about his villages. Let me read it again. Here. Whose branches run over the wall. So, Hebrew 13:23 means, the branches mean his daughter villages. So he had a lot of children, and therefore he had a lot of villages. He had a lot of them, right? Whose villages run over the wall. So Hebrew 7:791. Hebrew 7:791, wall. Within their walls, those of the rich. And what was he rich in? Faith. In the beginning. Let me see. And what type of branches run over the wall you should think of? Think about it. Let me see something. Wait, while you're thinking, I'm looking for something. Sorry. You know what? Can you stop these type of branches that grow on walls? Of course you can. You can cut them, but they're wild. They're all over the place. You can't kind of stop them unless you're really trying to kill them. But nothing can stop them. They can break iron. Oh, sorry, iron. They can break stone. They bend the shit out of stone. They slipped right through it. This is like a condom protected womb, and then Ephraim just burst on through. He's all over the place. He grows on all things and everything. That's Ephraim. They're all over the place. Literally, they're all over the place. Look at them. I mean, look at them. No, seriously, look at them. These are the daughter villages of. This is the mannerism of how Ephraim spreads himself, like a bunch of branches, daughter villages all over the place. It's like all these little villages is all full of Ephraimites, all over the place. Manasseh is like that too, but Ephraim is the bigger one. Anyway, so yeah, that's that part. And okay, so let me read until 9, and then I'll stop this video. You know what? I'll stop it right now, and then I'll continue with the rest.